地球外生命体は地球を訪れたことがあると世界中の数百万もの人々が信じている。もしそれが本当なら、このテレビシリーズは10年以上にわたって重大であり、なおかつ物議を醸す仮説を検証してきた。地球外生命体が数千年前に地球に舞い降り、今もとどまっているという説だ。今回の古代の宇宙人特別企画では、
実に素晴らしいと思います。
ウィリアム・シャトナーがこれまで踏み込んだことのない未知の領域に飛び込む科学者や宗教指導者、そしてもちろん古代宇宙飛行施設の提唱者と話し、答えを探すのだ。地球外生命体は本当に地球を訪れたのだろうか。
私に古代の宇宙人について信じさせることが、宇宙人の存在を信じさせるための第一歩です。では納得させてください。
Konnichiwa, Japan. How are you? I'm Giorgio Tsoukalos. It is for Ancient Aliens. It is one of the most innovative seasons we've done because we did it under conditions that were new. We never worked under these circumstances, I mean, we began this in 2009. It aired in 2009 for the first time in April. So this particular season, we produced under a complete new set of rules because nobody knew, what was going on. And so what we've done is we've created a rectangular table with all of us sitting at that table and discussing with each other our theories and ideas, which is something, by the way, that David Childress, Eric von Daniken, William Henry, Travis Taylor, sorry. We are on the phone every once in a while. Sitting together and talking like that, we only do that at conferences when we meet each other where we speak. So, but now that the conferences are gone, having had this interaction at a table, I had a great time filming those episodes. So I really hope that the audience also will enjoy it. The Shatner episode is the culmination of 10 years of Ancient Aliens. And it was the brainchild of Kevin Burns to bring together William Shatner with Ancient Aliens, because what greater icon could talk about, or could we talk to, in order to explore these timeless questions? William Shatner, when we met him and we were able to talk to him in this roundtable type situation, he had such incredible questions and observations, because the idea of that episode was to bring somebody from the outside of Ancient Aliens, bring them in, and then essentially talk to them to convince them what we talk about. Okay. Because I'm well aware that the topics that we talk about are not popular. They are not in the mainstream. It is still very much a speculative idea. So the idea or the concept was to convince William Shatner in that 2-hour episode. And all I can say is, or all I can ask if people want to know, well, did he get convinced or not? All I can say to that is, you have to watch. So you just mentioned my favorite place, and that always will be Pumapunku. And the reason why is because there are factors of construction there that do not fit into the ordinary explanation of what archaeologists are suggesting. Because they are suggesting everything starts little, and then bigger like that. Well, in Pumapunku, the oldest is the biggest. So it makes no sense. And, you know, what is interesting also at Pumapunku is the archaeologists are saying that, and by the way, just so, you know, it's out there, of course, it was human beings who built Pumapunku, but there were teachers there who said, okay, you move this stone from here to there and from there to here. And, oh, you cannot move the stone? Let me show you how. So they would show the machine, or they would show the people there how to use the machine and then do it that way. So because at Pumapunku, there are stones made of gray andesite that you cannot cut it with bones or with copper or with iron. It's an impossibility. It's a physical impossibility. Yet we have the stones, the gray andesite. And it's all perfect, no mistakes. You know, so the explanation is that someone with sophisticated technology a long time ago worked those stones. And then over time, the reason why Pumapunku became famous or sacred is because people went there because they were told something happened there a long time ago. And so that's how it turned into something that it never was. So I hate to say this, or I don't like to say this, but our entire existence today with religion and with the way we are as human beings began due to a gigantic misunderstanding that somebody came, they helped us, and instead of knowing, oh, those are just people like you and me, you know, we're all the same, and they were our teachers, they helped us. But no, our ancestors were like, oh my God, somebody came from the sky, so we have to start praying to them. No, you don't pray to anybody. I mean, of course you pray, but not to space travelers or visitors. That's, you know, those are physical beings like you and me. You don't pray to physical beings. At least I don't. So this is a very long answer. This is a very exciting story. And, you know, I am very much looking forward to this announcement. And as you know, over the past 2 to 3 weeks, things have been revealed and shown and said, you know, we have this, we have that, and here are a couple of videos, and here's a video. Yet at the same time, the Pentagon has come forward and they said, well, we don't think it's the US government has come forward and said, we do not think it's extraterrestrial. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean the United States government just admitted that the Russians or the Chinese have better technology? Or is the wording, the way things are said, there's always, you know, things to read into it, because while they said they don't think it is extraterrestrial, and at the same time, you know, so either the US government just admitted that the Chinese government or the Russian government has better technology, or it's the only thing they can say in order not to panic the world. And I have a question about this myself, because clearly the world will not panic if we find out that we
are we ready?
Yeah, yes, we are.
Okay.
Because otherwise, these stories, and they're now big stories, would have caused panic by now. And what they have caused these stories is, oh, okay, great. And then everybody moves on. And then, oh, okay, so they're investigating UFOs. Sure, no problem. Well, you know, yes, people like me for 50, or for Eric for Daniken for 50 years, he had been told, you know, oh, you are crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy. And now the government all of a sudden says, oh, no, we are investigating UFOs. Well, who's crazy? You know, because just because somebody says that these things do not exist does not mean they do not exist. So, so it's incredibly fascinating right now. And I do think that this is all part of the greater process of disclosure. It's a disclosure. It's part of disclosure, but disclosure is not a one-time thing. It's a process.
So it's not going to be like, you know, just a Roswell case closed or another Project Blue Book, or, you know, it's more comprehensive, and we are already, you know, we're already educated, much more educated than those days of Roswell days. So, you know, we're ready right now.
Yeah, I think so. And this is why I think that, you know, because, you know, let's say that, because they said maybe they will release the news this UFO news 1 or 2 days earlier from the 24th, whatever. And the bottom line is, okay, let's say they release this news tomorrow, Tuesday. Everybody has to go to work on Wednesday. So, you know, this idea that if this announcement is made that, you know, these exist, that there's panic and all this, it's an interesting idea, but I think that this will not be the case, because for the past 10, 20, 30 years, the planet, not just our countries, but the planet itself, all the countries, through Hollywood and through books and novels and whatever have you, the entire population of planet Earth over the past 30 years has been conditioned for the idea that we are perhaps not alone in the universe. Yeah, well, that's a fantastic question, and your guess is as good as mine. Because look, the idea of the Akashic record, it's been around for a very long time. You know, I have one friend who claims to have a chip, a little piece of the Akashic record, but it's garbage. It's not a piece of the Akashic record, because I think the Akashic record, I don't think that it is a device. I don't think it is a machine. I don't think it is a thing, you know, like a cup that's something tangible. I think the Akashic record is more something like a repository of knowledge that is stored within each cell, within each cell of the body of every living and dead thing in the universe. It's the all-encompassing force of the universe. All the knowledge in the universe already exists. Even things that are not yet invented in the future, in my opinion, they already exist, because in my opinion, there is no beginning, there is no end. Time just is. There is no, so in having said that, the fact that time exists, within that framework of time exists information that is timeless, no time. And so I think that the entire, and by the way, what I'm saying right now to you is my personal opinion. This is not the opinion of ancient aliens. So I think that every single thing, whether it is dead or alive, is a living being, because it vibrates. What we see is the result of vibration, and that's a scientific fact. So even if things are dead, they still vibrate, and this is how we can see things. So now imagine that there exists in our existence another level where, like the internet, the cloud. We know the cloud, the internet, or Wi-Fi exists, but go and show me right now where the information is. Where is it? It's in a cloud. It's in these giant, rooms with processing machines and things like that. But if you want to go and find this piece of paper, you will not find it. This record, it's not there. It's gone. So I think that the Akashic record it's another word for God, basically, if you want the simple answer, because the universe exists. And I think the universe is a gigantic living organism that we are part of. And because we are inside or with that organism, it's alive and we are part of it. So if we are given the speculation that this knowledge exists, well, what we've proposed on Ancient Aliens is that some people throughout history can access this knowledge. Like, for example, you mentioned Edison, you mentioned Tesla.
Yes.
All of these guys, all of them say that they had their visions or their inventions came to them in a dream. And even the guy in India, Ramanujan, the mathematician, he himself said when he was 16 years old, he said, I don't know any of this. I just sit down and my hand just writes. It just writes. I know nothing about this. And so that is the argument for this level of existence that exists in the universe that contains this knowledge. And it's not just for us. There are other civilizations in other planets throughout this galaxy and the trillions of other galaxies where the exact same thing is happening. So, it's an incredibly wonderful thing. And what you said that, this could help with world peace. Yes, it can. But too many people question everything. We now live in a society where you can honestly go on Facebook or on Instagram tonight, and you can find arguments for people who are arguing 2 + 2 = 5. What is going on? Why are people today arguing 2 + 2 = 5? It's impossible. Yet you will find people who will say, no, 2 + 2, there's a possibility. It's 5. No, it's not. End of discussion. Forget it. I cannot speak with you if you say to me that, like, for example, people always approach me and they say, what do you think of the flat Earth theory? It's garbage. It's complete nonsense. Well, yeah, but you are saying the ETs and aliens. So why not flat Earth? Well, because flat Earth is this idea that the Earth is flat. It's not scientific. In fact, it has been disproven. We know we live on a sphere. End of story. And if you still, and by the way, whenever I say you, I never mean you. I just say in general. Okay. But if you then still say, well, I think the Earth is flat and it's a conspiracy, I will not talk to you. It's over. It's done. Because there's a level of understanding where, I'm here and you're here or the other way, whatever, and it's not even. So, I don't even go there anymore. I do think that the reason why governments worldwide right now are officially talking that they have investigated UFOs for many, many years, and the fact that the US government in a few days will come out with their own report, I think it just shows that people are interested in this topic, and that shows like Ancient Aliens have paved the way for this to happen right now. If Ancient Aliens had not been on the air 10 years ago, I do not think that what the governments, especially the US government, what they're talking about today in regards to UFOs, that they would do that today if it had not been for Ancient Aliens. So I am absolutely not shy in saying that Ancient Aliens has opened the door for all of these discussions that are happening right now. So up until 2015, I have never seen a UFO. I have known people who claim to have seen stuff, and and I've of course seen videos, or people would show me photographs and things like that. But personally, I never saw anything. But then on August, I think it was August 11th, 2015, at around 10:15 p.m. in the evening, so 2200 hours, 22:15, myself and 30 other people, we were watching the sky with these night vision goggles. You can get these goggles where you can see the night sky, and it sort of illuminates the night sky, and you can see at night. And we looked at the Big Dipper, and the Big Dipper, even if you know nothing about constellations, the Big Dipper, you can always see the Big Dipper, and it's very clear. It's this, the ladle with the 4 dots, nothing in the middle. Well, one of the watchers there was like, guys, look to the Big Dipper. And we all looked at the Big Dipper, and there were 2 additional stars inside the darkness of the Big Dipper constellation. And we're like, what is that? So for 10 minutes, we watched these 2 additional stars that all of a sudden were inside the Big Dipper. We watched them go brighter and then dim, brighter and then dim. So this happened 3 times in 10 minutes. After the 3rd time, where those 2 lights got brighter and dimmer, after the 3rd time, those 2 lights, and we all saw this, started to move out of the Big Dipper constellation, and then it shot off into, it was already in space, but it just shot off into whatever, but it just blinked and it was gone. And, I would not talk about this story if I had not seen this with 30 witnesses. And so something really strange happened that night. And frankly, all I could all I could think about when I went to sleep that night is, what did the pilots look like who flew that thing? And I think the big secret, or the big secret to this answer will be that most likely the pilots will look like you and me, because the ancient astronaut theory suggests that we are their children. So perhaps our parents are here to check up on us. Yeah, look, I was mentioning earlier to the editor of Mew magazine that there are still places in Japan I want to go. In fact, the last time when we went to the Kofun and the, was it Ichiban? It was the, that stone ship. In that area, there is still one more monolith or megalithic situation that I would like to go see, not situation, structure, a megalithic structure in the area that we had on the list, but the last time, but it didn't work out. So I definitely would like to come back. But at the same time, I think it's important to also investigate the textual references that Japan has. And that is, this whole idea of this celestial lineage of the emperor's lineage, very fascinating. And, it would be, for me, it would be, for example, a dream come true to perhaps have an interview with a member of the imperial house, sort of, I guess, a former imperial house of Japan, in order to listen to them or ask them a few questions and to listen to what they have to say. Because there are certain places in the world, like, for example, in India, where, it is not a joke when you talk about the celestial origin of, everything that is happening there. So when you have Japan, and they are very proud in having this celestial connection, I would be fascinated to actually speak to someone and ask specific questions. So who knows if that could be a possibility one day. And I think that shows like Ancient Aliens make that possible, because who knows if one of the members is a fan of Ancient Aliens. Because whenever you have fans, they open doors. Any answer I give you sounds silly, because nobody, I'm here at the office where we make Ancient Aliens at Prometheus. This is where it's made. And none of us, zero, none of us knew 10 years ago we would still be on the air today. No idea. So what I have to say to this is that it would have never happened if it hadn't been for the vision of Kevin Burns, who, basically produced each and every episode since 2009. Unfortunately, he passed away 6 months ago, but we're continuing. And I think the reason why the show is still around is because the show asks profound questions. Where do we come from? Why are we here? And where are we going? The 5 questions at the beginning of Ancient Aliens, which is no longer there now, but the first 4 or 5 seasons, where did they come from? Where did they go? Will they return? Those 5 questions is something that I came up with Kevin Burns. We came up with this together, and that is how we revolve each episode of Ancient Aliens. And I think that is one of the reasons why the show has been so popular, because frankly, in the end, we don't know the answer to these questions. Because I've never said hello to an extraterrestrial. I wish I could, but I haven't. I know people who claim, they say that they have had personal encounters. And I cannot say that they are lying. I also cannot say that they are speaking the truth. I don't know. But at the same time, I think the show has succeeded because it asks timeless questions. The questions that we ask today, I think, have been asked 100 years ago as well. So, and now we have the opportunity, due to television, to explore these questions and share this with a wider audience.